You walk into the showroom, and boom, walls of screens coming at you from every angle. Some are blindingly bright. Some look like moving paintings. And yeah, all of them are yelling at you in labels. OLED, Super UHD, QLED Quantum 9 engine. Like, what does that mean? You're just standing there wondering if you're making a terrible $1,000 decision. All right, let's talk about it. No fluff, no nerd-splaining, no brands whispering sweet lies in your ear. So the big TV battle in 2025 comes down to these two powerhouses, OLED versus QLED. What makes this year different? These screens have evolved. We're in the juicy part of the competition now. Think LeBron versus Steph, but for your living room. First off, let's just get the tech out of the way in plain English. You don't need a PhD in pixels. One lights itself, the other needs a flashlight. Okay, let me explain that better. OLED basically means every pixel is its own little light bulb. Each one turns on and off by itself. So when something on screen is black, that pixel literally turns off. Like, it's not pretending to be dark gray. It's completely off. Gone. Dead black. The kind of black where you don't know if the screen is on or not. QLED is different. It still needs a backlight, like a big powerful panel behind the screen shining light. And that layer pushes it through color filters and magic quantum dots. It works really well, actually. But since the whole screen has this light behind it, it can't completely turn sections off pixel by pixel. So you're always going to have some light spill, especially with dark scenes next to bright ones. It's like trying to make a candle look like a flashlight. Impressive, but not quite the real thing. Okay, let me slow down. We're not here for a lecture. We're here to figure out which one actually fits your life. Let's simplify it. Number 1, you love contrast? OLED, no contest. Think late-night movie watching. Room fully dark. Maybe you're watching Blade Runner 2049 or Dune. Those deep shadows, glowing lights, OLED owns that. You get the kind of blacks where the edge of the TV disappears into the wall. Like, you forget you're looking at a screen. You're just there. I've paused a scene before and literally couldn't tell where the movie ends and the frame begins. It's that precise. My partner walked into the room and went, "Is the TV broken?" Nope, just OLED doing OLED things. Now QLED tries to match that with clever backlighting zones, turning parts of the backlight off while keeping others on. And it works surprisingly well these days, especially with newer mini LED models. Like, you'll only really notice the difference if you walk up to it, pause something dark, and squint. But still, if you're a cinema snob, OLED wins the contrast game. End of story. Number 2, you love brightness? QLED flexes hard. This is where QLED does a little victory dance. Want to watch daytime TV in a sunny room with windows throwing shade on your screen? QLED says bring it. These puppies can get absurdly bright, like 3,000 nits bright, which is code for holy crap, I might get a tan in my living room type of bright. OLED has gotten better, don't get me wrong, especially the new tandem OLED models that stack multiple layers for better peak brightness. But even then, QLED is still the king of punch-you-in-the-eyeballs brightness. Great for sports, animated shows, or just people who leave the blinds open like it's a houseplant spa. It also handles reflections better, so if you often watch your soaps while the sun hits your screen directly, QLED's your buddy. Number 3, you're a gamer? Read this carefully. OLED has instant response time. Like, seriously, when your controller moves, the screen reacts immediately. No motion blur, no weird ghosting. Perfect blacks for those shadowy boss stages. It basically turns your game into something you'd only expect from top-tier PC monitors. But, and this is important, OLED can still get image retention or burn-in if you leave static images on all day. Think game HUDs that never move, or FIFA score overlays frozen on screen for hours. Now, modern OLEDs have tech to reduce this. Pixel shifting, screen refresh cycles, AI dimming stuff. And it really works well. I've got an older OLED and it's been running 3 years strong. No burn, no ghosting. But I also don't leave the same screen on for 12 hours. So if you treat your TV like a workhorse or computer monitor, QLED honestly might be safer.
And QLED performs well for gaming too. It's just slightly slower in motion. You probably won't even notice unless you're trying to, but side by side, OLED's got that buttery movement edge. Also, side note, both now support things like 120Hz, VRR, auto low latency mode, etc. So regardless of which team you pick, gaming on either is gonna be buttery smooth. Number 4, you live with other people? Consider viewing angles. This one's sneaky. Let's say you've got a big family or a wide couch. Everyone's squished in, watching a new Netflix doc. With most QLEDs, the best viewing spot is dead center. Move too far left or right, the colors start to wash out. Blacks become grays. Nothing awful, but it's that annoying little downgrade in quality.
If you mostly watch movies at night, want deep blacks, or care about absolute picture bragging rights, go OLED. The image quality is just, mwah, chef's kiss. But if your room is bright, you like daytime viewing, or you want zero headache about burn-in, QLED is a strong, practical choice, especially the new premium models. Both can be amazing, but both are different. Alright, so now you're asking, okay, cool, but which OLED? Which QLED? What are the real-world picks that don't suck? Fair question. There are so many models out there right now, and the brands don't exactly make it easy with their alphabet soup product names. Like, are you supposed to know the difference between a QN90D and a QN90C just from memory? Ugh, yeah, me neither. So let's break it down person to person. You tell me your room, your vibe, and I'll tell you what TV's going to slide into that space like it was made to be there. Let's start with OLED heavy hitters. LG C4, the you can stop researching choice.
This is the default recommendation for most people in 2025. The C4 is the 4th generation of LG's ultra-popular mid-range OLED. It pretty much does everything right. Killer contrast, decent brightness, much better than just a couple years ago. Beautiful upscaling, smooth motion. Gaming? Check. It's got all the goodies. 4K at 120Hz, VRR, low input lag under 10 menus, supports NVIDIA G-Sync and AMD FreeSync. Movies? Gorgeous. It handles HDR10, Dolby Vision, and even includes decent built-in speakers if you're not going soundbar mode, though you definitely should. It's not the brightest OLED on the market, but unless your living room is basically a greenhouse, it's more than fine.
Also, it just looks clean. Thin, minimal bezels, wall mounts like a painting. Most people could stop right here and be happy for the next 6 years. But if you're the type who's like, yeah, but what's the best OLED? Keep reading. Sony A95L, the show-off. Alright, now we're talking about the OLED that makes people stop and stare. No joke, first time I saw this thing showing a clip from Avatar 2, I literally said out loud, "Oh, what the hell?" And then just stood there like an idiot for 10 minutes watching fish swim. This bad boy uses QD OLED. That's quantum dot plus OLED, meaning it combines OLED's perfect blacks with quantum dot's insane color reproduction. So not only do the dark scenes look cinematic, but color? Oh man, it punches. Skittles wishes it was this vibrant. Tone mapping is spot on. No crushed shadows, no blown out highlights. It all looks natural and bold at the same time. And brightness? For OLED, it's nuts. Bright enough to handle daytime viewing in most spaces. It's not QLED bright, but it closes the gap a lot more than earlier OLEDs. Only drawback? It's expensive. Like, real expensive.
Do you need it? No. Will you want it once you see it? Probably. Samsung S95D, the secret weapon. If Sony's QD OLED is the art piece, Samsung's version is the edgy cousin who shows up wearing black leather and doesn't text back. Samsung's S95D is bold. It leans heavier into bright colors, has slightly more aggressive tone mapping, sometimes makes content pop a little more than intended. And it ditches Dolby Vision. Samsung still hasn't budged on that one. So if you're someone who watches a lot of Dolby Vision content, might be a factor. But overall, this is another top QD OLED pick. Thinner than ever, wild contrast, fast for games, minimal input lag, great interface. The brightness is a slight bump over the LG C4, though not as cleanly calibrated out of the box. You'll probably want to tinker a bit. If you want OLED plus spicy visuals, this one feels like a mood. Now let's move to the QLED squad. Samsung QN90D, peak practical. This is what I call the smart family pick. It's a mini LED QLED that gives you fantastic performance, handles sunlight with zero drama, and honestly just makes everything feel easy. You want sports? It's bright, fast, and vivid. You want YouTube for the kids? Screensaver proof. You accidentally leave the menu up for 2 hours? No problem. You've got multiple people watching from weird angles? It holds up surprisingly well thanks to improved layer tech. You even get decent local dimming, so blacks don't look washed out. Though again, still not OLED level. And possibly the most underrated feature? Samsung's solar-powered remote. I've had one for over a year now, and it haven't once thought about batteries. It just lives on the coffee table and stays charged. Like magic. Honestly, if you were thinking of buying an OLED, but your space is too bright, or your kids like to crank the brightness to 100% no matter what, yeah, this QLED makes a ton of sense. Hisense U8N, the wild value pick. Okay, this is underrated. If you're looking at QLEDs and your wallet is clenching in fear, listen up. Hisense has been putting out shockingly good TVs over the last few years. The U8N is weirdly good for its price. We're talking bright, like 2000 nits bright. Local dimming that almost feels OLED-ish. Fast enough for gaming. Color? Solid. Contrast? Better than expected. Only real knock is that it doesn't have the premium build. It feels a little more TV at home than TV in a museum. And some people report inconsistent quality control, so a little luck of the draw there. But man, you could get this thing, pair it with a $100 soundbar, and have a living room setup that makes your uncle's $3,000 OLED from 2019 look bland. TCL QM8, sleeper hit. TCL also dropped a banger this year. The QM8 is competitive with TVs twice its price. Like, legit. Similar to the U8N, it's mini LED powered, with impressive peak brightness, solid color reproduction, and pretty tight backlight control. You'll lose a bit of that high-end finesse. There's some occasional bloom around white text on black backgrounds, and the OS can feel a bit sluggish. But still, for most people just watching Netflix, sports, or gaming casually, it's better than you'd expect, and definitely punches above its price class. I once had a guest tell me they couldn't tell the difference between the TCL and my 2000K OLED. I nodded, then I cried inside. All right, we've covered a handful of the hottest picks this year. But maybe you're wondering, so who wins? Is this a tie? Nope, I'm not gonna dodge like that. But picking a winner means choosing a category. Because best is different for different people.
If I had to give awards like it was the Oscars: Best for Movie Lovers, Sony A95L. Best Bright Room TV, Samsung QN90D. Best Combo of Price plus Performance, LG C4. Best Budget QLED, Hisense U8N. Best Just Works TV, Samsung S95D. And if you're like seriously torn, like can't sleep at night torn, then just do this. Go to a decent brick-and-mortar store. Walk up to the S95D and the QN90D playing the same content side by side. Watch a dark night scene, then a sunny documentary. Trust your eyeballs. They're better than any chart. A good OLED will look like black velvet dipped in ink. A good QLED will look like a light bright powered by the sun. Pick your vibe. Because again, you don't need theoretical best. You need the one that feels right in your everyday life.